junction, junction. How's that function?
I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
All right, welcome to Speak Out. It's Monday, July 29th, 2024. No more silly season interviews for now, right? You know what the silly season is, right? You're a broadcast veteran, right, James?
Oh, yeah, election season? Yeah.
I call it the silly season. You know, these guys, especially the incumbents, they do a great job for 3.5 years, and then the last 6 months, they're just crap. They get blamed for everything.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's how it happens. That's when you find out, all the negative stuff comes out at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then all the ads. I mean, I'm surprised I heard a couple of negative local ads. I was kind of shocked about that,
At least 2 or 3, exactly. Yeah. So James Jarman is here, Executive Director of College Communications for Mohave Community College. Works out of, all 3 campuses?
4, yeah.
4?
Yeah, we have the one.
You have an office in Colorado City?
Yeah. Well, we have the landing spots, so when we have to go up there, yeah. And there's actually going to be a game up there, a soccer game.
What?
Yeah, they're going to be playing against Utah Tech up at St. George.
That's a dream climate to play ball in.
Yeah. Especially compared to 110.
Especially if it's not Cedar City because you don't have to deal with the altitude yet.
Yeah.
That's a great climate to play soccer.
Yeah.
Trust me on that. All right. James Jarman is here. We're going to talk about everything MCC, especially the welding program, because we have instructor Eric Pope here. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
He's got quite a knowledge. I heard you guys talking in the green room out there.
Yeah. He's one of our one of our top welding instructors, and a lot of the career and technical education instructors, they've done it. They were professionals in the field, and now they're coming back to help train the next generation.
I got you. How popular of a class is that? I mean, I'm hearing rumors that you don't have to fish for signups at all, really. I'm kind of wondering why you're here. It's like, because does he have a summer session class?
Yeah. He has the non-credit classes going now, which are kind of hobbyists and people that are interested in it. And then we have the credit side, too, which is people who are younger people looking to get into careers. Mm-hmm.
So the career side, that's pretty serious, right? I mean, you must stress a lot of safety also.
Oh, yeah, we cover safety. OSHA 10 certificates are available as part of the curriculum. So we run the gamut from starting off with safety, terminology, welding terminology, industry-specific terminology, all the way through beginning, intermediate, and advanced welding.
What do you mean by certificates?
OSHA has a couple of certificates. OSHA 10 is a 10-hour training course, so the students complete the 10-hour training course and earn a certificate. Then there's more advanced ones too. More for supervisor would be OSHA 30.
Okay.
So we do provide OSHA 10. Our students, right in their first semester, they jump right in and get their feet wet with OSHA 10.
Eric, where did you learn your craft?
Well, I learned in high school, way over in California in Simi Valley, but I really honed it here. I'm a graduate of MCC back in 2005.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Which campus here? Bullhead?
So when I attended school here, it was Kingman only, but since then we've expanded to Bullhead, Havasu, and we even have a mobile rig that does weld testing, but it can provide training also. So theoretically, we could go anywhere.
Are you getting any of the students out of River Valley High School? I know they had a program for a while.
Yeah, actually, I taught.
Or AOBI?
I taught at River Valley High School in the evening for MCC
that was you
for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have their own welding lab up there and do run some high school courses, but MCC, I'm sure some of those students are running courses at night up at MCC in Bullhead.
How does that course rate as far as a beginning program for getting into welding and moving up to MCC?
Well, as far as a rating, I don't know. Having taught those students there, they were all pretty advanced. You know, it was nice to have students come in that that already had some prior knowledge. But I should say that to join our program, no prior knowledge is necessary. We take beginners that know nothing. Cultivate them from beginning to end.
Well, there's several kinds of welding, though, correct?
Yes, we call that a process. So a welding process, they differentiate by the type of equipment used and some what we call essential variables. But we teach 4 welding processes and 3 cutting processes. Those are the processes that are manipulated by hand, meaning an operator produces them. There are, dozens, if not hundreds, of welding processes. Some of them use lasers and that kind of thing. We're not talking about those mechanical or solid-state processes. We're talking about things that a welding operator does. So for structural steel, shipbuilding, pipe welding, aerospace industry, those kinds of things. And I mentioned the cutting processes too.
Several years ago, I was a stage technician in Laughlin, and there was an opening up in Vegas. They had just built it wasn't the Mirage, it was the other one with the fountains.
Bellagio?
The Bellagio, thank you. And they were looking for positions for stage people, but you had to be certified in underwater welding. How does that work?
Wow. So most underwater welding, again, not my area of expertise, but
Not
underwater
mine either.
welding is done with if we understand that construction is done underwater. So underwater welders don't only weld, they turn wrenches and grind and do all those things too. So they're basically welder / builder, mechanic, so to speak. And so they stick weld or use the SMAW process just like we do on land, except for they're geared up a lot more heavy with wetsuits or dry suits and hard hat. We call it hard hat divers. So yeah, it's interesting that they needed one at the Bellagio. I suppose they don't get a bonus for going deep there. But
No, but there was quite the union wage.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even for back in the day. This was like around Y2K.
Yeah.
It was around that time when that hotel was built. What's the demand like, James, for a class like this?
Oh, yeah. The welding class, welding and nursing, those are two programs at the college where, as far as the marketing department looks at it,
Does it need it?
They're always full. So the lists that we usually get are the programs that have space for enrollment. So it seems like the welding, it's a high demand. It and nursing are on all the campuses, and then even the North Campus, as Eric was mentioning, we have the weld truck. And so they're going up to the North Campus, taking that up there to teach welding there at a couple of the high schools up in the northern part of the county. So, yeah, it is all over. It is a high-demand program. So, yeah.
Eric, what do you attribute that to? The fact that you don't need any marketing. I mean, you make James's job super easy, and you make him look good at the same time.
Mainly what we do with welding is we make sure that we get the welding pictures on there because they throw sparks. It looks great.
Sure.
So visually, it just it explains itself right there as far as a marketing aspect. It grabs people's attention really quick.
I want to talk about that safety aspect pretty soon, but. Like those things like throwing sparks and the possibility of getting burned and eye protection. And do you still need eye protection when you're cutting?
Oh, yeah.
Or just for welding?
Oh, yeah. No, we wear various types of eye protection, which would include from debris, dust particles, and flying debris, but also UV light, different shades. So different tasks require different shades of protection or different levels of protection, you could say.
I always thought good training for welders would be to go into that lab, your lab, turn the heat up to about 95 degrees, right? Because you're working in the tri-state area. You're probably not going to get the air-conditioned or swamp-cooled atmosphere that you think you're going to get on every job. In fact, 9 out of 10 are probably going to be on a roof or not in the shade, right? In the middle of the summer.
That's true, but we provide real-life training there because about 5 of our booths are outside.
Oh.
They're in a breezeway. They're shaded most of the time, except for when the sun gets really low. So we do real-life training over there. So sometimes they get to weld inside and with a little air conditioner, and then sometimes outside.
What do you call that when you get hit by sparks and that kind of thing?
Well, it's annoying, but you learn to live with it. I suppose one thing that you deal with when you start welding is you learn to ignore pain. You have two choices when you have a hot spark in your glove or in your shoe. It's either continue or quit and jump around. So most of us learn to just continue to weld.
Kind of like, I think it was the book Profiles in Courage, John Kennedy.
Yeah.
He talks about holding a really hot cup of coffee and you can't let it go for whatever reason, you know. You have to set it down and take the burn.
That's welding, take the burn.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like being a glazer.
Yeah.
Somebody that works with glass, you're going to constantly get cut or get caught with your gloves off or whatever, or arm cuts. You can tell when someone's been in that business for a while.
Yeah, well, that's what he mentioned, OSHA certified, so that's part of it, yeah. They teach safeties first and foremost there, yeah.
With experience, you learn to avoid the sparks, though, mostly. You can position your body. You can position your body and also the torch or electrode that you're using to where the sparks are directed away from you. So it comes with time.
What's the toughest job you ever had to weld on, like gas tanks or not full gas? Obviously, they have to be empty and aired out for a while.
So welding tanks, that would be explosive.
Yes.
So there are techniques to do that. I generally try to avoid it. As far as the hardest job, I don't know about the hardest. The most interesting was working at the dams I worked at Parker Dam and also at Headgate Dam down in front of the Blue Water. I was there for a couple of years.
Oh, no kidding.
So, that's heavy construction. I really enjoyed that. It's a lot of, hot, heavy, hard work, but it's satisfying at the end, and you get to do some things that most other people never get to see.
That's a really good point you bring up with the construction. Having helped build Harris Fiesta showroom, I was on that original stage crew. There was some people aren't just going to bring you the materials to weld. You have to get it off the truck. You have to stack it. You have to get it ready to weld, right?
Yeah, that's true. Rigging is a big part of welding, which would include lifting, working with crane operators. In fact, that was a huge part of my job at Parker, not at Parker, but at Headgate Dam. So rigging is all part of what we do, or can be, depending on the position. And yes, we have to cut and build the parts that we're going to weld. So being a welder is not necessarily just about welding. It is about a well-rounded, a person who has the skills to operate multiple different cutting methods, whether they be mechanical, meaning saws and drills and punches and shears and that kind of stuff, all the way to a skill such as using a plasma cutter, where you might have to cut out some radius by hand, or a torch. So skill. That comes with time. We teach those here. It's introductory. People, the more they weld, the more practice they get, the better they get.
In the sign business back in the day, they would cut plate metal, and like laser cut, or you could hand cut, I guess. Sometimes script letters, things like that. Pretty interesting, and then anodize it.
Sure. Now that type of thing would mostly be done on a CNC machine, to where you could really put the font on in a computer program and then have it. Yeah, it comes out really nice. It doesn't. It's just another skill that a welder needs, to compete. Really? If you could run a CNC machine, a CNC plasma, or other machine, then that's another thing. You're right. The sign business is huge with that type of work. But not only that, if you think about gussets that go into roll cages and all that, some of those could be put on a CNC plasma and mass produced, actually.
Yeah, ever since the 80s, you had pylon signs that were being designed. I was part of that too, James, out of school.
There you go.
Pylon signs, those big,
Yeah, and one thing people may not realize is MCC really been ahead of the game with welding and the welding technology, because even back in the day, MCC, probably when Eric was attending the school, at some point it was the first college, or the first AWS, which is American Welding Society, certified testing center in Arizona. The first in the state was at MCC. So we have top equipment, and we have top-notch employees teaching the class as well. So if you're looking for experts to teach you in welding, this is a perfect place to come. And we can talk more, even if you're a hobby welder. We can maybe talk after the break about that.
I want to talk about a big topic that you like to get on, is return on investment.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really good return on investment to take Eric's class, and then what you're going to make after that.
Careers that are available.
Career-wise, it just opens up a whole bevy of careers. All right, back with more on Speak Out in a moment. We're talking with Eric Pope, and of course James Jarman from Mohave Community College. It's the Bighorn Blast podcast. No video today, though.
No, we had a technical issue. The camera's in the shop, but we'll upload the show, though, so you'll be able to check it out on the playlist at the college YouTube channel.
There you go. So what'd you do? You went Sony instead of Canon, or Canon instead of Sony? What happened?
Yeah, I think it's a viewfinder issue.
Oh,
yeah. Those,
yeah, that's not good. You have to see what you're doing.
Loose wire.
Kind of like welding.
Yeah, that's it. We need to take it over to the welding department, see if they can fix it.
Give us a call if you want some input, 928-854-KNTR, 928-854-5687. Make this talk radio, not just listen radio. We take texts now, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 928-727-5566, 928-727-5566. Super easy number to remember.
Can we send you a snap?
No. I don't do Snap.
Then that's when you're really good.
I don't do IG
really
and I don't do Snap. Just FB, right? Back with more in a moment. Stay with us on Speak Out. So, what about aluminum? Is it tough to weld aluminum, or is it common?
It's different. Some people struggle with it, so I wouldn't say that it's not tough. It's just different. The aluminum melts at a lot lower temperature than steel, so that and it gets a oxide hard coating over the top of it. So you have to deal with the oxide, and then you have to deal with the lower melting temperature. So yes, difficulty level, I would say it's a little bit more difficult, but it's not impossible.
Look at the big brain on Eric.
Man. Yeah.
He knows all that metallurgy stuff.
When you're looking for a welding expert, there you go. Yeah. And he also talked about, and we were talking earlier when, Paul, you mentioned the demand for it, seats always seem to be filled, and so much so that we have a lot of people in the community who maybe they have an old welder, in the garage, or, it's a hobby, or they think they might want to pick it up, maybe weld some metal, flowers or something. So the college has started. It's opened up the door for non-credit classes. So if you don't want to sign up for a full semester for a degree or certificate, you can sign up for your classes are like a few hours a day? Or?
We're running them on Saturdays, noon to 8 to noon, 4 Saturdays. And, we can stay a little later than that. We have open lab on Saturday anyway. So yeah, it's 4 Saturdays from 8 to noon for just introduction to welding for non-credit.
Yeah. So anybody out there who you don't necessarily want to go through the process of applying at the college and all of that, well, you can go to the non-credit side, which we call community and corporate education. Sign up there, or just go to the college website and in the search bar tap welding, and then go to you'll find the welding page, and you can find Eric's contact info on the welding page.
Who's the typical student for you? Depending on...
We have...
Do you have any women?
Wave, yes, I do. I have several women.
Really?
Wave students. So we have a lot of people come from the high school and through Western Arizona Wave program. And then we have people who are working in industry or maybe just looking for a career shift. I have people that are already working in construction, maybe roofing or other industrial type jobs that are looking for a career change. And yes, we always have a few women. It's mostly a male-dominated sport, but not sport.
No,
career.
Fine.
Sorry.
Fine.
Well, actually, welding is a sport.
Yeah.
You're competing for a job. You compete, next to against the person's, other person's applying. Anyway, yes, there are several women. We have some great success stories with women welders.
Interesting.
I've heard now that women are better welders. Because they can focus more and they have steadier hands.
And they can take more pain.
They
have a higher pain tolerance.
Yes.
So some of the women make excellent welders. I would really describe welding as either people are passionate about it. It does. I think it lends itself to people who are eye-hand coordinated. Maybe if you're interested in musical instruments or other painting, other art kind of things.
Something steady hand.
Tedious, and really what I think it is it's a drive to be better. Every weld should be better than the last one.
Oh, wow.
So if you have that drive to do better and better and better, and I think some of the women really excel at that because they have that. They create a weld and then I could do better than that. So I think the success in welding is really driven by passion, which that passion just fires something in the psyche that makes you makes you just want to participate.
Yeah.
You get better and better and better.
Interesting. What about the return on investment? What kind of investment are we talking about for your classes, and then where people can get placed and move on from there?
Well, the welding industry is interesting because even after a short semester or two, students would be employable in what we would call lower level training and experience positions, and then you run all the way up to highly trained and highly skilled positions with many years of experience. Mm-hmm. So, you could jump right into the industry after just some short, like I said, a semester or two, and start at the bottom. You're going to start on the saw. Companies are going to have you cutting. Sure. You're going to learn all the parts, learn how to cut all the parts, and then they'll have you weld. And then that's where you start. You work your way up into higher positions where, like I said, you might be working on a dam or building or shipbuilding or refinery work, anything like that.
The big thing here now, though, it seems like everybody's got a trailer of some sort. Building trailers. It's a big skill for a welder.
There are. In fact, there's at least one trailer company in town that we work with. To some degree, some of our students work over there. In fact, some of our instructors work over there, our part-time instructors too. So, trailers is a big thing, especially with all the boats in town. So not only trailers, but around town, there's a lot of fences, a lot of gates, and then now with new homes out there, stairs, intricate stairs and hand railings and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there's a little bit more structural steel. Some of those houses have, cantilever decks and that kind of thing. Most of the home builders around Havasu, traditionally, when I was welding here, several years ago, just had frames, steel frames for the large garage doors. Sure. But now that's expanded into more, a little bit more structural work.
I have a saying that there are a lot of things out there that I call a young man's game. Shooting video is one of them, by the way. Yeah. It seems like your life expectancy as a professional videographer is about 40 because of the back, right?
Lifting everything.
What about welding? Is that still a young man's game, or can you do it well into your 50s or 60s?
Well, when I have older students come in, I'm always suspicious of their eyes. I use a magnifier in my helmet so that, plus I wear glasses. So as long as you can see, then you can weld. There are positions that don't require a lot of physical work, but if I were in my 50s looking for a new career, I would want to make sure that I had a fairly physical, capability.
Sure. And the equipment it can get a little pricey, right? You were telling me about the helmets and the brake.
Yeah, some of the equipment can get pricey, but also, you can buy helmets for a reasonable price. I mean, $150, so you can get into the game reasonable.
Well, you got the gloves too.
Yeah, gloves. A whole kit, including a grinder and some clamps and tools and stuff like that, could run you about $400. Our students, it actually is part of the tuition. We provide all that here too, though. So a new student comes in, they don't need to go shopping for anything.
And then you got that whole solar eclipse thing going on where you're the popular guy, right?
Yeah. We have the viewing apparatus for the solar eclipse.
Right. And you were telling me about a contest in Vegas. Are those common?
Yeah, there's welding contests around. Skills USA is a big one where it's actually a national, where high schools and colleges compete. And then there's one in Arizona specific, started by Sam Colton out of Yuma. It's called Welding Thunder. That took place in Las Vegas several years ago, and now they've been holding it at, I believe it's West Mech in Phoenix. So yeah, that's a yearly event. We're gonna try to set ourselves up to participate in that.
Right. We got more to talk about with MCC on the podcast, right?
Yeah. We got the big thing happening this week, ribbon cutting for the apartment, the student housing coming up.
Did you think I could get a half hour out of a welding interview or what?
Yeah, we can go more even. There's even right. more about welding we can chat about. Yeah.
Absolutely right. All right, we'll be back with more. It's Mohave Community College, represented by James Jarman, Executive Director of College Communications, and Eric Pope. He's a welding instructor here in Lake Havasu City. And, wow, a lot of good stuff happening. We're going to talk about the Kathy Hodel Award winner.
Yeah. We have him. We've got some good stuff coming up. Stay tuned.
All right, back with more in a moment. I should just let you take it to break, right?
Yeah, do those teases.
Yeah, it's all 80s music today for James Jarman, and this one coming out of the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, of course. Back with more in a moment. Stay with us on Speak Out.
She must be somebody's babe.
James, I don't know if you're a big video game fan. Did you learn that on Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero was a little bit after me.
Oh, yeah.
I was more of the Atari 2600 guy. Asteroids, Haunted House. I remember getting scared of that.
Tempest.
Tempest and Centipede. Yeah. What was the one where you ran through the jungle, too?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Jungle King.
Yeah,
what was it?
Jungle King?
Wow, you're good, man.
All of us 80s Gen Xers here.
That's it. A trip back to the 80s with the guys who played video games on their 3x4 TVs, right?
Yeah, or at the local liquor store in the front.
Yeah,
in the corners. Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
I miss
man.
those arcades.
Yeah, me too. We had one next to our TV station I worked at in Laughlin, and it had that pinball wizard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I sunk a lot of change into that one. Speak Out brought to you in part by Springburg Wealth Management, also by The Chair, Havasu Style Dining, and live entertainment in a flip-flop atmosphere. A fantastic view of the London Bridge. Stroll on over to The Chair. By Mohave Community College, also samsguns.com, SunPower by Esme Electric, and by Doritos Place, providing Havasu with all-natural dog and cat food, along with pet toys since 2006. And don't forget, we do have election coverage tomorrow night, 8 o'clock until about 10:30. We'll even have the second round of ballots that are coming in about 10 after 10. And we'll have them on the air. We'll make the announcements in that who's winning what race before they're even posted on the county website. Roger Galloway is going to have them right there, right out of Alan Tempert's hands. So it's going to be a big show, full of sponsors. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. live with myself here in the studio. Got some candidates who are likely going to call in. And then we have Roger Galloway calling in from Kingman. 2 phone lines.
There you go.
Two phones in one.
All two.
Exactly. All 2. That's funny. All right. And we're back with my co-host today, James Jarman.
The things we were talking about right before the break there when we were coming back. One big thing happening this week over at the college, happening at the Bullhead City campus, is going to be the student housing. We're going to have the ribbon cutting Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. Right there at the student housing. It's called the Mohave Village Apartments. We'll have students can start moving in on Wednesday. And then from 8 to 9, there's going to be an open house. So you can go there for the ribbon cutting is going to be at 7:30. It's going to be indoors. And then the open house, but you'll see everything outside. And the reason it's indoors is because even at 7:30 in the morning, it's, it can be 100 degrees in Bullhead and Havasu. So we'll have the ceremony inside, and then we'll have some stuff going on outside as well as the tour of the facility. So you'll be able to go in and do a little open house, see what the facility looks like, what the students will be living in. And I got to tell you, I got a peek in there. I was grabbing some pictures last week.
Really?
This is not your old school dorm room, let me tell you that. These are nice apartment style living. They've got, a majority of them, I think, have four bedrooms, a central area, living area. They have each bedroom, two bedrooms. 2 bedrooms will share a bath, and then they have a full kitchen in there as well. So, and it's, they're really nice. I mean,
the culinary students might argue with you on that one, the full kitchen part.
Yeah, full apartment kitchen, with your stove and all that.
Right.
But they look really nice. The students are going to be happy about it. And our soccer team's coming in August 1st. They have to report for camp, so they're going to be moving in. The soccer players that'll be staying there at the Mohave Village Apartments, they'll be there starting on the 1st as well. And then the other students that'll be moving in, we have dental there, we have nursing, we have radiologic technology students. They're all going to be moving in on the 17th because classes start the 19th. So from the 1st to the 17th will primarily be the soccer players, and then after that the rest of the students will be moving in.
Do you know if any of the student athletes are going to be pursuing specific careers while they're at MCC?
Yeah. We've the full slate's open to them.
Giving you marketing ideas.
So we've had interest. We've got students that have expressed interest in everything from nursing to dental to rad tech to those who are looking to transfer, who want to go to a NCAA Division I school and continue their studies to get their bachelor's degree. So those are the arts and sciences programs. So yeah, really. A broad base of student interests and majors coming in for the soccer team.
All right, Camilo's all ready then? The first match is coming up, right?
Yeah, they're going to have a scrimmage or an exhibition game. The men's team
it's called a friendly.
A friendly, that's what it's called, yeah. On August 7th, and all the home games are going to be at Rotary Park in Bullhead City. Been great working with the city, the Booster Club. They've got the field out there. It's known as Firebird Field. I think they're going to do some renaming of that for sponsorship rights as well. So keep your eyes open for that. But the home field is what's been known as Firebird Field at Rotary Park in Bullhead City. And really, they fixed that up. It looks really great.
There press box upgrades there, too?
Yeah. I don't know if they've upgraded the press box, but they've been doing some upgrades. The boosters have, because they're going to run the concession stand, which is right below the press box. So they're going to have drinks and food out there for sale for people, free entrance to get into the games. The season actually starts. The conference games are going to start August 30th. And so August 30th, keep that in mind, Colorado Northwestern going to be coming down to play the home opener for the men, and I believe that's the women too. If you go to the website athletics.mohave.edu, we have the schedules up there. And so the women's home opener is the 30th against, Colorado Northwestern. The women's first game, away game, going to be August 23rd at Snow College, which is up in Utah.
Sure.
Yeah. So
a lot of Vegas.
Look, it's happening. We've had a lot of people. I think a lot of people have been looking at, going, "We'll see if it happens." This is happening, folks. It's coming. Get ready to go out there and support the team.
Back in the day, a lot of students from Vegas, especially where I went to school, there was a big Mormon population, went to Snow College.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. You saw the shirts all over at Rancho High School anyway.
Yeah. They're playing an exhibition game or a friendly up there as well in St. George, the men's team, on August 10th, 7:30 at night up at Utah Tech University. So our team will be playing an NCAA school. So we'll see, how our team stacks up against them. Camilo, when he played, he was the captain of the national championship team over at Yavapai College. He said they used to go play some NCAA schools and Division I schools, and they would win.
Right.
So we'll see how we stack up against the Division I.
I don't know if you know this, but he recruited a couple of my brother's players out of Shadow Ridge in Vegas.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Two or three, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And then Camilo used to play at UNLV.
Yeah.
He was a player coach back in the day. So
and you can see the players that each team has in the newsroom at the college website. If you just go to mohave.edu and you'll click the About tab, or just scroll all the way to the bottom of the homepage, and you'll see a button to click on the newsroom, and you can search for the story there. But he has a list of all of the players, and we have the photos on there as well for the men's and women's team, so you can see where they're from, who they played for, and when they're coming in.
Right.
So I already said they're coming in August 1st, both of them.
So being that we're in Lake Havasu City, Kathy Hodel, of course, a huge donor to the campus in Lake Havasu City, and put in a lot of time there on the governor's board, if I remember right.
Right, and the foundation.
Let's talk about the award named after her and the person who won it, and then we'll go to the speech led in by, of course, Dr. Stacy Klippenstein.
Yeah. So we have Kathy Hodel. She passed away a few years back, and her friend, who was also a lawyer and an instructor at the college, Dr. Jim Child, put up $200,000 for an endowment that would provide $10,000 each year for the college's most outstanding student. It's called the Kathy Hodel, and it's in her honor, the Kathy Hodel Most Outstanding Student Award. And each year, a student is given that award, the $10,000 cash, not a scholarship. This is cash, so they can spend it however they'd like. Kathy and Dr. Child both, though, said they would like to see the money spent on their education or somehow giving back to their community, because that was really Kathy's heart and soul, was giving back to the community, and she did that through the giving back to the college. You can go to the Havasu campus. The library is named after her and her husband. It's the Hodel Library. She helped raise $1 million to build that library. So really a great honor for her. And this year, the student who won the award was Kevin Gouthan, and our team in the communications office caught up with Kevin and put a little video together in his own words that, as you mentioned, this video that you'll hear starts with Dr. Klippenstein at graduation giving Kevin the award, and then Kevin picks it up from there.
All right, let's check it out.
It is my privilege and honor to announce Kevin as this year's Kathy Hodel Outstanding Student Award winner. On behalf of MCC Community, congratulations, Kevin. Come on up.
I've never experienced anything like this in my life, and it's just really surreal to me. It still doesn't feel real, and it's changed everything for me, my path. To me, the Kathy Hodel Most Outstanding Student Award represents a dedication to community service. Throughout my time here at MCC, I founded the Food Pantry and Clothes Closet. When I was working at the Hodel Library here in Havasu, I noticed a lot of students struggling with food insecurity, homelessness. I saw that as an issue, and kind of through Phi Theta Kappa was able to spearhead an initiative through the library and found a food pantry here on campus. That's something that I've struggled with in the past, and I know how hard it can be to have to focus on education while also focusing on where you're housed and what you're going to be eating for your meal at the end of the day. And taking away those burdens from some students feels really great. Both my parents never really attended college, and it feels really great to be going to move on to do these great things like pursue my bachelor's and my master's and my doctorate. It's also kind of bittersweet at the same time leaving Mohave Community College behind because they've provided me with so much opportunity. The staff was instrumental to my success, I believe. Their support and their community building and just what we did here in the library was instrumental to my success. I'm Kevin Gouthan, and I am MCC.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
I like the end.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the tagline?
That's where, well, we have a web page, and it's called We Are MCC, or you can get there at the actual page title. If you type in mohave.edu/IAM, you'll get to the I Am MCC page, and we have a lot of, I think, a couple of dozen people so far who have been students and graduates, including the Havasu mayor. He's on there. The Havasu former police chief is on there. The former police chief from Bullhead City is on there. Gene Bishop is on there as a county supervisor. All of them have attended MCC, and they talk about how MCC helped get them on the path to success in their life. So if you go to mohave.edu/IAM, you can find all of those videos. And really, it's just great to hear from the students and the alumni who have been here and who are now, in a successful position. And when you go back in time, when they go back and they look at it, it really all started when they enrolled in that first class at the college and saw the potential that was available to them.
Wow. All right, and you can also enroll for classes now for fall semester, correct?
Yeah, we have those classes coming up on August 19th. And if you go to the website and click the Apply button, it'll take you to the page where you can fill out a form. Then we call it the Welcome Future Bighorns form. Get that filled out, and then from there you can go and fill out the application. We have a full team that's ready. They'll reach out to you, help walk you through the whole process. So from application to enrolling and getting you into the class, whether you want to go to a class on campus, like if you want to go to a welding class with Mr. Pope, or if you want to, any of the other classes on campus, we also have a full online program. So we have dozens and dozens of classes online that are available, and we also offer classes via Zoom as well. So if you want to, if you can't make it to the campus, but you want to take the class, you can pop in on Zoom and take the class that way.
Speaking of welding, what do students need to be ready for equipment-wise when they enroll in the class? Is there a little investment there for the lab?
For us, no. The students are provided. We give them a helmet, a coat, gloves, clamps, grinder, everything they need to get started. So they just need to show up with a notebook, their books. We don't provide books; they have to buy the book. But a notebook, something to write with, the books, and ready to go.
Are the tests out of the book, or are the tests practical application?
Most of the work is practical application, but there is, welding has its own language, so we do have quizzes that are, the whole system is set up with online where they can log into Canvas as our learning management system, and then they take some quizzes. We're competency-based, so they can take them over and over until they master the language, they master the terminology. Again, it's competency-based education, which means you master a task and you move on.
Must be a tough class to make a curriculum for, right?
Well, you just really have to start from the beginning. It's a little like, how do you ask somebody to make a ham sandwich or a peanut? You just start at the beginning and and figure out what they don't know, or assume nothing and start at the beginning and work your way to the end. So, yeah, it's tedious. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but that's what we're here for.
It's funny he mentioned that. That's how all the classes really are taught. If you come in and you apply, and let's say people struggle with math. Everybody struggles with math, right?
Yeah,
not everybody. My son, for some reason, I have no idea where he gets it. He's quick with math. But a lot of us struggle with math. We'll meet you where you are, and get you up ready for college math. So really, that's really what's great about Mohave Community College is we're open door for everybody, no matter your skill level. Sign up, get in there, and we'll get you to that level where you want to be, or help get you to that level.
We got to get going. This was a very fast hour.
Yeah, it is.
Tell people how to get signed up, how long they have before the fall semester to sign up.
Yep, and you can get signed up now. You can sign up whenever you'd like at apply.mohave.edu, or if you just go to the homepage, mohave.edu, click the apply button. You can get signed up, and somebody will be in touch with you and walk you through what we have. If you're interested in the non-credit side, if you go to the mohave.edu page, right in the middle of it, you'll see Community and Corporate Education. There'll be a button there. Click that one. That'll take you over to the non-credit side, where you can find classes such as the weekend welding, where if you don't want to do a full semester, you just want to do a few classes, you can pop in there, learn the basics of it with Mr. Pope and Havasu and the other instructors at the other campuses.
The kids on Snapchat call it W squared, by the way.
Oh, what's that?
Weekend welding.
Oh, weekend welding. I thought that was the new term for www.
Oh. We got a text, by the way. I guess Pitfall on Atari 2600 was big back in the day too.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. Do you remember Pitfall?
Yeah, Pitfall.
Oh man.
Yeah.
These guys.
That's what I'm going to start saying for the website.
There you go. Yeah, W cubed.
W cubed. Yeah.
Or just don't say W at all. You remember back in the day?
Remember, that's how you know how old somebody is if they say www dot. Nowadays you don't need the www.
Exactly.
Yeah.
James, thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Pope. Appreciate it. And another successful voyage of the Bighorn Blast podcast.